So today it is the 11th of December, and right now it is 3 o'clock, and me and my friend Joachim, we are on our way to Tesla in Køge to try out Tesla FSD for the very first time. And I want to say that we just booked this on Tesla's website. We have not been invited by Tesla or anything like that. It was actually my friend Joachim here who saw a post on X maybe 2-3 days ago that now you could sign up to try Tesla FSD in Denmark for the first time. So I went online a few minutes after Joachim, and I got a time slot in like 3 weeks in a different part of Denmark, like a 3-hour drive from here. But Joachim luckily got a time slot on the first day that you are able to try out. So I think we are some of the first people ever to try out this software in Denmark. I know that there has been a few like press people out earlier this day. I saw one video on YouTube and one video on LinkedIn by some press people who went out earlier today. But I think we are some of the first public people to ever try out Tesla FSD in Denmark, and it is very exciting. I don't know, Joachim, he is one of my best friends, and he is actually the guy who inspired me to invest in Tesla stock maybe, what is it now, 6 years ago? And you invested in Tesla stock for the first time when?
10 years ago.
10 years ago, and what made you invest in Tesla more than 10 years ago?
It's a good question. Sometimes I ask myself that as well, because it's been so many years. But I think I heard about this guy Elon Musk somewhere on the internet, and I had to look him up. And I heard about he was doing electric vehicles, and I thought, without doing any research at all, actually, to be honest, I just thought that electric vehicles must be a big part of the future of.
So this was even before FSD was on the table. This was just electric vehicle is a new thing.
I think they maybe did talk a little bit about it back then, but it was just like a pilot stage, I think. So it was more the electric vehicle business I was very, drawn to, and I thought, this guy seems pretty cool. Let's just put down some money on this project because it felt like a good opportunity. And then over the years, just kept on pushing.
Yeah, because I know your story a little bit, and I know that you invested. The first investment you made was quite small, maybe just a small, what you call like a frimærke in Danish, like a small.
I bought 3 stocks.
Yeah, 3 stocks back then, and they have what 100x ever since, or something like that.
I don't know, but it's maybe
50x. But I think it's also safe to say that ever since then, you are now what I would consider like pretty all in.
Pretty all in.
Pretty all in.
Yeah, you can say that.
Would you be comfortable sharing how many shares you have in Tesla at this point? You could, if you want to. You don't have to.
Yeah, it's more than 500 and less than 10,000.
Exactly. And I think it's safe to say, that Joachim is maybe one of the larger private shareholders of Tesla stock in Denmark. I think that's safe to say.
Part of the upper group.
And I'm comfortable saying I'm also an investor now, and I have also been adding like every year since those 6 years ago I started investing. And I am the proud owner of 575 shares. So it's not, it is a lot, but it's not that much. But it's still enough so that I feel like, in a way, I have contributed to this journey of like Tesla becoming what it is. Of course, I haven't done it like directly, but still, you're an investor in a company, and it's a pretty significant amount, and that is like how a company grows, and it is why capitalism is just so great. Okay, but enough about that.
No problem.
What else is there to say? Okay, so for those that don't know, Tesla FSD is Tesla full self-driving, and that supervised at this point in time. So that means that it's the software that newer Tesla cars have, not in Europe yet for the public, but in, for example, America, you can use Tesla FSD supervised on the roads in your own private car, and they are also testing out robotaxis in different major cities. So you can actually book like a robotaxi like you would book a taxi or an Uber, and then there's a safety driver in the passenger seat, but it is basically the car that drives itself, which is pretty crazy. And a lot of Danish people don't realize that this is actually happening right now in America. Like,
I have very few Danish people.
Yeah, very few Danish people realize this. And I have seen some videos where private people, they sit in their garage and then they type in the destination they want to go to, and their car will back out of the garage, go to the destination, even go in underground parking garages and find a parking spot and just like do everything related to the trip without the person having to touch the wheel or touch the pedals at all. And I have seen some people say that they haven't touched the wheel or the pedals in their Teslas for like a month or two now, because the car just drives itself basically, which is pretty crazy. And for some reason, it's like people in Denmark don't really know this, or don't really understand this, or don't really see the potential from a technology like this.
It feels like almost like a public secret, because so few people realize it, but it's for the people who's like, you know, following the technology closely, it's obvious that it's really working, and yeah, it's quite profound.
And
it's a big day.
And the crazy thing is that Tesla has done it differently than some other players in this market. For example, there is a company called Waymo, and what Waymo has done is that they are like a technology company, and they buy a car from a manufacturer, and then they fit a lot of radar and LiDAR on this car.
Maybe you should say that Waymo is considered the biggest competitor to Tesla.
Yeah, and Waymo is like the biggest competitors. Most people would actually say maybe that Waymo is in the lead, because they actually have autonomous ride-hailing services operating right now without any safety drivers in the car. But the challenge that Waymo has is that they buy cars from manufacturers. They don't manufacture their own cars. And then they have to like retrofit all these LiDAR and radar and cameras and all of this stuff on the car, which makes it a very slow process to roll out, but it also makes it extremely expensive to like have a robotaxi. And then another thing is that it's also geo-fenced, which means that you have to download the map, and then the car cannot go out from this map. So this is basically, it's not an intelligent car, it's just a car that will not hit anything. I think you could say that in a way. But Tesla's approach is much different, because it is just like the normal Teslas that roll out of the factory that you can buy as a normal person. They have all the technology that you need to be able to have the car run autonomously. So it's a very simple and cheap setup, but it works. And there's one camera inside the car, and then there's 8 cameras on the outside of the car. And those cameras, they function like our eyes function. So that is like, the cameras are like the eyes, they see what is going on. And then the way human beings drive a car is that we also have a brain, and that brain has like previous experiences in traffic, and we understand what is going on around us. And the car does exactly the same. It has eyes on the road, and then it has a brain, and the brain is the FSD computer. And those two things work together, and that makes the car intelligent, which means that it can go anywhere in the world, and it can act in traffic as a human being would act in traffic. So it can like rely on past experiences, and the way they have trained it is, what is it called, end-to-end neural network. So that means that every Tesla you see on the street is riding around with cameras on it, recording what is going on, and providing Tesla with data from the real world.
And have been doing so for the last 10 years.
Yeah, I think it's like 7 billion miles.
Yeah,
more than 7 billion miles at this point. So that means that I think I saw something that is like every 10 minutes Tesla's fleet gather more information that you would gather in your whole lifetime or something crazy. It's just an insane amount of data, which means that they get so many edge cases. So that means like when we get a driver's license, we go to driving school for maybe 10 weeks and then we get our driver's license and then we drive, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 hours per day. But Tesla's fleet is always learning, is always gathering in footage from the cars on the road. So that makes it like there is no limit to how safe Teslas will be eventually, and how, what do you say, like just good the system will be, because it's just an exponential like AI curve. And the computer, it doesn't get tired, it doesn't get distracted by its phone, it's never hung over, it's never drunk, it's never in an argument over the phone. So I mean, it's just a really like safe system once it gets developed fully.
I think it's a nice way to put it that every Tesla car has all of the experience from all Tesla cars that's ever been produced who's driving around within that same car. So they share all experience, all data from all those billions of miles across the whole fleet, which is just bananas when you think about it.
And then it also...
On top of that, the computer is reacting probably 100 or 1,000 times quicker than our brain, and it can see 360 vision because it has cameras all around. And
it's being updated with software updates like every week. So every week the system gets better and more refined and trained on new data. And then when we are talking about Waymo, it's also quite interesting to think about. Tesla has, I think, 6 million cars on the road now in the world.
8 million.
8 million on cars, maybe, I don't know.
But 10 million next year.
Yeah, and maybe 2 million of those are in Europe, and I think 88,000 of those are in Denmark, and next year there will be added maybe another 3 million cars. But the interesting thing is that I don't know exactly how many of these cars are FSD capable with the new hardware and stuff, but imagine if you could use your car as a robotaxi. So for example, imagine that you are working or you are sleeping or you are just at home relaxing, and you could activate your Tesla to go out and operate as a robotaxi for you when you're not using it, and you could make money from the car while it's doing that. That is a pretty insane scenario to think about, because imagine, I think a lot of people would buy the FSD subscription and subscribe to it, or the one-time purchase, and start doing that, that will create software revenue from Tesla if people upgrade to the FSD, but it will also create revenue if they get a share of all this ride-hailing services around the world. And what else was it that I wanted to say? And next year in Q2, Tesla will begin production, like mass production of the Cybercab, which is their dedicated robotaxi vehicle with no steering wheel and no pedals. And they have like a new, what is it called, unboxed production system, where they are expecting to be able to produce a Cybercab every 5 to 10 seconds of the production line. So that scales very quickly. And the funny thing,
raw materials goes in one end of the factory and on the other side of the factory. Every 5 seconds there's just a Cybercab rolling off. It's mind-boggling.
And the craziest thing is that I don't know exactly how many Waymos are on the road, but if Tesla succeeds with like having this software that works as a robotaxi, they could basically saturate all bigger markets in days or weeks or months, because there's like right now there's like 5,000 cars going out in Europe every day. So it's like, just let's say for example Copenhagen, you could take 1 day's production from Giga Berlin and just put that in Copenhagen, and you would have replaced all normal taxis in like 1 or 2 days. And you can do this in all the big cities, just one city after the other.
Yeah, not just all taxis.
No, yeah, all cars.
Yeah, many people, they mistakenly compare the Tesla robotaxi service with, Uber or taxis, which is also, of course, a market, but it's so much bigger than that. It's all transportation across all markets and all industries. So there's probably that kind of no limit to how they can scale it.
And I think now is a good time to, because this is becoming a bit of a brand. That's one thing I thought about. Every time we meet and every time we have met for the past 6 years, we have talked about Tesla without exception. So it is a pretty big day for us today to be able to go out together and try out FSD for the first
And
time.
our friends are pretty tired of listening to us.
Everyone is tired,
At
but
least we have each other.
but now we can say, we told you so, we told you so. Now it's here. But what I want to end this part of the video with is like, what are the pros of, like, why is it a good thing that autonomous cars is becoming a reality, and why is it a good thing with robotaxis and stuff? And first of all, it is quite crazy when you think about it, how we have just accepted how many people die or become severely handicapped for life in accidents in traffic. So think in maybe 5 or 10 years time, if we could completely eliminate death and injuries in traffic. Just imagine how crazy it is that we actually accept that it is so dangerous.
I get the details now that you're talking about it.
So you could basically, everybody knows someone who's had a concussion in traffic, or died in traffic, or had their spine broken in traffic, that could be eliminated by this technology. So
I just sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay. I'm just talking
just
so
looked up
much.
the statistics that now we're talking about Europe. Every day in Europe, on European roads, there are around 50 people killed.
Yeah.
That means 50 people killed, first of all, and 50 families are completely ruined and, devastated for years. And that's not even taking into account all the people that's injured, like severely injured.
And that is just one of the benefits, because another benefit is that there will be a smaller need for the amount of cars that you have on the road. But we are driving on the road here now, and there's basically just one person in each car, and they are all owned by individuals, and these cars are parked, not being used 95% of the time. So imagine how much space we use in cities and in suburban areas just to store cars that are not being used. And we could be so much more efficient with traffic if we just shared fewer cars but used them as robotaxis. And it will also be much cheaper. It will democratize transportation, because a robotaxi will be eventually cheaper than running your own privately owned car on a mile-to-mile basis. So that means that it will be cheaper and easier for more people to travel in a more safe and environment-friendly way also. Are there any other benefits that I didn't think about? I mean, I could...
Well, I think the traffic safety one is the biggest one for me personally. I think it's just so sad to think about how many people are killed each day, and it's now we finally have a technology that can actually alleviate these.
And one last thing is also a lot of disabled people or old people, they lose their driver's license, and then they're stuck at home, not being able to leave the house. And this technology will also make it possible for elderly people and disabled people to travel more easy and more convenient and in a more cheap way, which is also amazing. You probably know, your parents or your grandparents, how devastating it is to see them lose their driver's license and not be able to go out in the world on their own any longer, and being dependent on other people. And I think with that said, because now we talked for almost 20 minutes, with that said, we are gonna leave you now, and we will be back inside the Tesla Model 3 imported from Germany with FSD. So see you there. Okay. Hi, what is he?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. So we can say...
Are we doing English? Or
yeah, we do it in English. So we can say that the car is driving itself, but there is a Tesla employee in the driver's seat because it is FSD supervised. So he is responsible for the car and has to take over if anything happens during this ride. But right now it is just the car riding itself, which is pretty crazy to think about. What's your first impression, Joachim? How does it feel?
It feels safe, actually. I feel at ease. I actually had the pleasure of trying the FSD in Austin as well. I went up there and rented a Cybercab. I drove it for 3 days throughout Austin and Texas. So I know a little bit about the feeling, but it's profound how quickly you kind of develop a sense of ease and peace when you're driving. It feels.
But I also feel now when there's a person sitting in the driver's seat, it feels a lot like just being driven. But the crazy thing is in America, where there's actually like robotaxis going around with nobody in the driver's seat. That is like that's next level. That feels like even more futuristic in a way.
Yeah, so obviously this is kind of a push to raise some public awareness around Denmark as well about the significance of this technology, and us being a little bit into the field and the technology knows how this is more like a formality that you have to sit there, of course, for legal reasons still. Of course, there's still some fine tuning of the software taking place, but it's just.
But I would say that you're right, that you get, like, it feels very natural. It feels like a person is riding the car. It doesn't feel like it's a robot riding itself. You know what I mean?
No, it doesn't make like weird.
No, and the acceleration is smooth, and the braking is smooth, and like.
If you didn't know better, you would have thought that a person.
Yeah, it feels like the Tesla employee is driving the car.
The only thing that would have been giving it away is that it's actually maybe a little bit too smooth, because it knows exactly how it has to decelerate and accelerate to hit the stop signs and stuff. Yeah,
and it's also interesting that we get it like my camera actually looks quite bright, but it is pretty dark out, and I think in the next half hour it will get completely dark. So that is also interesting, that I think a lot of people who are skeptic about the technology will say that, oh, it will not work in the snow, or oh, it will not work in the dark, or when it's raining, or stuff like that. But I think the way we see it is that if a human being can drive in those conditions, 8 cameras and a supercomputer can also do the same.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when you see the videos from the States where they're driving through snow blizzards and stuff,
look, did you see that?
Yeah.
There was a very steep speed bump, and the car slowed down very naturally. Like, this is exactly how I would have done it. Like, no difference. Sorry, you were saying?
I was just saying those videos you see from the States where they drive through blizzards and snowstorms and stuff. It's just like super smooth and.
But I think I saw another Danish YouTuber, he posted a video earlier today. I think he was invited by the press. And the funny thing is, I feel like the same is happening now, that it's quite uninteresting to film and watch, because it's
so
just...
that it's boring.
But that is quite... Because do you remember when they started the beta testing in America? How many years ago is that now? 2, 3?
Yes.
When you watch the videos from that in the beginning, the car would like... It was very interesting to watch, because the car would make stupid mistakes all the time, and it was like, oh my god, what is going on, and this is dangerous, and why is the car doing that? But now we are at a point.
Nerve-wracking to watch.
Now we are at a point where you would almost be like having sweaty hands just watching the videos. But now we are at a point where all the FSD videos on YouTube are really boring, because it is just like filming a car that drives itself very calmly and smoothly and confidently, like through different scenarios.
Another thing the typical skeptics here in Europe has been saying for a long time is, it might work in the States because they've had 10 years to, train over there, but they'll never crack the European roads because they're so narrow and the streets so tight and stuff. But this is just an obvious demonstration of how this technology is really transferable to any part of the world and scalable throughout all environments and road conditions.
It's funny. It's like a human being. You can also travel to Costa Rica or Nicaragua or Thailand or somewhere like that, and then you will not be comfortable driving for the first couple of minutes, but your brain will adjust to the circumstances, and you will be able to drive eventually. Oh, nice.
Got it.
Perfect timing. But that's the funny thing, like, it is just like a human being. You can put this software anywhere and it will figure it out. It's like, if a human being can drive there, the software will also be able to drive there.
Because it's a general solution, right?
Did you notice that it put the blinker on to go? It's just a human wouldn't even do that. It's like more safe and more cautious than a human.
It's pretty
Sorry, I interrupted you again. What were you saying?
Yeah, but as Elon, he often points out that it is really a general solution. So you have like these fundamental like aims, goals for the car, like get to this destination and do not crash. It's actually pretty simple, even though it's super advanced. But that's kind of the general purpose of the software, right? And then there are of course some minor variations from different regions and stuff, but overall it's kind of the same thing. You have one objective: get to the destination and don't crash, don't drive into anything.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, because Waymo, for example, as we talked about earlier in the video,
yeah,
their approach is so different because they have all these sensors and they rely on the geo-fenced 3D maps, as you said, or the maps. So they can't do like Tesla is doing right here and like spontaneously do a live demonstration where for the public without having all the the necessary pre-defined maps and stuff as they have in the States. So that's also what's so profound, because this just scales across all regions.
True. But think if this was your own car, if this was your privately owned car, and you were at work and now you wanted to drive home, you could just get in the car and press FSD Supervised, and then you could basically just, now you have to supervise the car, but in a few, I don't know, month or maybe a year, the car will just drive you home. So you can take a nap on your way home. You can, do a little bit email. You can watch TikTok, sit on X. You can do whatever you want. You can just use your car as like a comfortable lounge to relax, rather than riding a car. You have to do all these micro adjustments, like are you in the right lane? What are the other people doing? How fast are you going? What's the speed limit here? But with FSD,
a lot of your brain cycles when you drive.
Yeah, so you can just relax. You can meditate. You can, I don't know, you can do whatever you want.
And for sure, there's gonna be like a transition where you're gonna have to get used to how it feels. But as with all technology, as we've been talking a lot about that, all of a sudden it feels like it's so. Like how the hell did we live without it just a few months prior?
We talked about it in the car going here. Like, if you were to explain to someone living in the 1980s how much screen time we would have now and how attached we would be to our phones and just being reliable on the internet, they would not in their wildest imagination be able to fantasize the reality that we are living in now. So it's just, if you think 5 or 10 or 20 years out in the future, it's just going to look so much more different than what it looks. What is it doing? So slow it down. It's red. Can you explain something about the interface? It's different. Look at how much information it has.
In general, I think the whole 3D visualizations is also a lot higher detail than we're used to.
But it's also, imagine how much more detail it has than your eyes. It sees everything. It's like in a 3D definition, so it's much more aware and has much more angles than we do as human beings.
Another thing, you touch the screen. No.
But it is a bit different than when we use our own car. It looks a bit different with this one on.
But for sure, you can see there are so many cars here you wouldn't be able to spot right away. If you were.
But it's got like a hold of all of them.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. It looks really nice. And then we have our red car in the middle.
And for us enthusiasts, of course, I oftentimes forget, because we follow the technology so closely, I often forget how few people they realize that this is going to impact all of society, in a very short amount of time.
How do you think it will impact society?
I think it's going to impact society in...
Okay, this is interesting.
Yeah, this is crazy. I wouldn't even know what to do here.
And we have some beautiful Christmas lights here in Køge. We are quite close to the edge here. It's interesting. I hope it sees the poles. Oh!
It's tight.
It's tight, yeah. But
this is actually quite a good example of a European...
Yeah, small, narrow road, yeah.
Without the lane markings. And there's one of these low tight buildings.
But it feels very confident. I would probably be a bit more to the center line than those signs in the out by the right, but it's doing well.
I think as long as it's not hitting anything, right?
Køge is a nice city. Good Christmas atmosphere here.
I can't wait to...
And just look at all the people on the screen, like it notices all the people. And if someone on the sidewalk were about to go out into the street, the car would notice much quicker than you would notice.
Yeah, in a split second.
Yeah, and there's a pedestrian on the.
And all these people should
Yeah, they have no clue.
They have no clue that this car is driving.
This is also it's stopped very no. There's no sudden braking. It's very softly, very gently, just touch the brake pedal to make room for that car, and just navigates these tight corners, very human-like.
It drives so much better than I do, I have to say.
It does. I just drove with you, but that's because
I'm too excited.
You're too excited. Yeah, no,
But,
that's fine. I also think you are a terrific driver.
Usually, I'm okay, man.
It's okay. What are we doing here? Is it maybe this is the end destination? I don't know if I mentioned, but our Tesla driver, he's not allowed to talk, so we have to be. I think this is like maybe that was the end destination. So now I'll just. Oh, you started it nice.
So now we picked a route where we got to choose it ourselves, just to make sure that they're not planning the whole thing like a theater. But
yeah, that's an interesting point to have, that Tesla did not plan any specific press routes in advance. We can choose wherever we want to go in the city, and we can, if we want, like we can just pick our own route, and the car will be able to manage no matter what route we pick.
Did you notice that it just like hold it back for this little family?
Yeah.
Just standing on the side of the road.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even have noticed that.
No, because it's quite dark and a lot is going on, and yeah.
And they were quite like far away from the road, but they're standing there and they still hold it back. So that's quite.
Yeah. Oh, look at this now. Look at this now. This is extremely narrow. This is very, very tight. There's a car trying to park on the right. Now it pulls into the right to make space for the truck, and it just feels.
Wow.
Look, here's some national treasure from Denmark on the left. Sorry, but it just feels like a very, what is it called? Like what is it called when you are høflig? Like a polite human being.
Yeah.
Like it's not
Very polite. Yeah.
And it's not like excessively braking or excessively hitting the accelerator. It's just very
coming up on the
smooth.
left.
Bus. Præstø station.
Yeah, my girlfriend, when we were driving around 3 days in the Cybertruck, she was also like, she didn't want to go back to me driving after because it was so comfortable for her.
But I feel like that with I have the enhanced autopilot on my Tesla Model Y, and as soon as I get on a highway, I just want to activate it as quickly as possible, because no, and it's also, I don't know if we talked about that earlier, but I think Tesla has data on like accident rates, and I think you are 7 times less likely to be in an accident if you have activated Tesla's autopilot function and FSD function, stuff like that. So and that is measured by the amount of miles driven. So
based on the 10 billion kilometers it collected. So
yeah, so it's just you're 7 times less likely to be in an accident when you have this system activated.
That is quite profound.
That is quite crazy.
I'm actually a bit like surprised that not more people are talking about the the fatality rate and the problem with car crashes in the public sphere in Europe. Very few people talk about it, but it is quite a big problem, and now we finally have a solution.
Yeah, this could be the solution to something that we have just like accepted as a part of reality. Like it's just like we accepted. I don't know, but back in the day you could die from getting the flu, but now we have vaccines and medications and stuff, and now it would be quite weird if someone in the Western world died from like the flu. But that was just part of living back then. like it is part of living to die in traffic accidents now, but maybe in 10 years that will be the past.
For sure. I'm convinced that this is going to be very quickly going to be the new norm, and people are just going to think, how the hell did we manage to drive without a... It's going to feel quite strange to have a human driving a car in a few years.
And we haven't had any interventions yet. The video I saw on YouTube with Daniel's fingertips, the Tesla employee had to press the accelerator a couple of times, I think maybe 2 or 3 times when they were parked at red lights. But let's see here, green light, and it just exactly as I would have done. Very gentle, smooth acceleration, exactly as the light turns green. So I don't know if they did a software update since Daniel was there. But okay, this is also interesting.
Yeah, quick.
Again, a tight, narrow road into a tunnel. It's a bit darker in here, but very comfortable speed. Would you have gone any faster or slower here?
No, I don't think so.
I think I would have done exactly the same.
It's pretty tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. It keeps the speed limit, so.
Oh, okay. The speed limit is 40.
Yeah.
Which is also nice. That is one of the things that I stress a lot about. I don't want a ticket for speeding. So every time I'm driving, I'm always like, did I notice the speed? Did it change? How fast am I supposed to go here? And you're always like checking how fast you're going. But with this system, you just completely eliminate that. You don't have to stress about it. The car just knows like how fast it's supposed to go.
It's quite a relief. So now we picked a route where we're going into kind of an industrial area. Hopefully we can encounter some unusual road conditions. Let's see.
I feel like I thought Køge would be more busy at this time. What is it, like 4:20? It's 4:20.
It's 4:20.
It's 4:20. The time is 4:20. It's a sign. It's a sign from the guards.
It is a sign.
Yeah, but it's not so busy at 4:20 in Køge, apparently. I heard Køge is up and coming.
Up and coming, yeah?
I don't know.
Actually, I don't think I've been in downtown Køge.
No.
Let's see what we got.
Did you buy your Tesla from... No, you bought it used, right? From a private person, yeah. I bought it in Køge.
Oh, from the...
Yeah, but also used from Tesla, yeah. That's why I have the enhanced autopilot.
Autopilot?
No, but it's... I mean, it just feels like we've been driven by a very capable chauffeur. It is actually surreal because I feel used to it already. It's like, I mean, it's just doing it now. It's waiting patiently for. We are in a roundabout. I don't know Oh, there's a bike. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
This is an interesting one actually.
Is there a bike behind us? No, that's fine. But roundabouts is something. For example, my enhanced autopilot will not do a roundabout. So that is like new that it can do that. But yeah, pretty uneventful.
Smooth sailing.
And we also get to experience Denmark on a December day. I have done some vlogs from Copenhagen on sunny days, but this is how, what is it called? This is the reality of living in Denmark in December. It's 4:22 and it's dark outside. We haven't seen the sun for months. But it can. Luckily, both Joachim and we are going to Thailand very soon to spend the winter there and get some sunlight.
What we've got here.
Okay, interesting. The car is still just doing. My camera is like all over the place, but yeah. Kom nu væk fra det ansigt der. Okay, it's
real good.
I think it's. Do you think it's safe to say that Tesla FSD software has never been here? Like we picked this route. This is a new route. This is a different place. I think this is probably the first time that it's been here, so it's not like it's trained on these streets to be able to handle them. They just do exactly, if you are a person driving in a new area, it's just doing exactly the same.
What is it gonna do here?
This is what's a blind vej called? This is a dead end? Is that the?
Yeah, it's a dead end.
It's a dead end.
It looks like the destination is in there, so it's interesting what it's gonna do now. Yeah. So its skate park is in that building, it looks like. So this is probably...
Oh, yeah, okay, so we chose a destination inside a building, so it just parked outside the building.
Yeah.
So I will stop the recording again now. Starting again. Joachim is allowed to press the button.
We're going back to the...
Yeah, back to the dealership now. And we are, because this is a dead-end road, so we are just gonna see if we can make the car do a U-turn, or if we have, maybe we have to take over. But I also feel like it's worth noting that Daniel's Pengetips, his video, it wasn't like because there was any like dangerous situation.
No.
It was just because the car was a bit hesitant and like waited for stuff. It was not like it was about to run over a family or anything like that. It is very safe. It maybe just sometimes need a little bit of a nudge to get going if it's stuck or something. Which I think is pretty important to underscore that. Yeah. When we say intervention, that can just be to press it can be to press the accelerator to make the car go. I mean, that can be an intervention. Okay, so
this is really tight, but it's gonna end up in...
No, but it actually tells us to go left. The sign tells us to go left. This is putting FSD to the test. Oh my God.
We are in the harbor, so we hope we're not gonna run off.
This is actually pretty interesting. Yeah, we are. I don't know if you can see, but to the left there's water. So,
Hold on tight.
And now we also have water ahead. So that's the and there's a very big puddle right there. Take it easy. Take it easy. No, it's good.
Interesting. It's just so weird actually that you don't really know what's gonna happen. You don't really know what it's gonna happen.
Jo, can I just say... Vent lidt, jeg skal lige have den væk. Nogle gange så ændrer den point. Can I just say that if this was a normal taxi ride, I would be a bit worried at this point. This is the problem with Uber back in the day.
I think we have to give it some slack because this is really...
Where is this guy taking us? Oh my God! I think... Okay, so...
Yeah, it's one gigantic construction zone we ended up in. So we must...
Human, maybe it will back up and find its way out, or I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so that was the first intervention. The car got lost in a construction zone. So now we are backing up and turning the car around.
It's quite a tight part of town, that's for sure.
And I think it's worth saying that this could have been prevented if we had turned the car around and then started the navigation. Because then the car could have just made its way out.
I would have gotten lost there as well.
I think you would have turned around and then just gone out the same way you came back in.
True.
There's a guy.
You almost like get an emotional connection to the car. It feels like it's a little bit...
Let's sige det igen. Det er bare nogle gange, så skifter kameraet vinkel. Hvad sagde du?
I just said that it's amazing how quickly you get kind of an emotional connection to the car. You feel a little bit like sad on its...
Yeah.
Kind of had hoped that it would have done it better just for its own sake. But let's see what it does.
We are out here.
Parking.
Yeah, but I feel like that with my own car. Sometimes if my car does something good, I will just very gently stroke the steering wheel or maybe clap the steering wheel and be like, good job, Tesla. I do that a couple of times per day. I feel like just like people have a relationship with their robotic vacuum cleaners, I have also have a relationship with my car. It's a good car.
And it hasn't even begun talking to us yet.
No. I saw that there was like a holiday update where you can have grok.
Yeah. I think it's in the States also, right?
Yeah. Oh my god.
It's gonna really change things when it's when it has grok full integration.
Yeah. And you can have what is her name? Ellie? No, what is her name? Annie? Annie?
Annie.
You can have Annie.
Yeah.
Annie talk to her.
Yeah.
You can be like, good morning, Annie. And Annie can be like, good morning, where do you want to go today?
It's gonna be quite special.
So this is where we should have turned around, but now we are going back out again.
Yeah, you're gonna develop kind of a relationship with the car quite quickly, I think. It's gonna remember all your experiences and stuff.
Mm. Do you also get aroused when you put in the charging? Yeah, it is like an electrical feeling, right?
Yeah.
Spark, what's it called? Sparks in the air? No. But we didn't get sexually assaulted in the back alley. We just turned around and now we are making our way back to Køge.
I saw a video of a Waymo picking up a woman in LA where there was a guy in the trunk. He was just lying there waiting for the next customer.
Oh my god.
I wouldn't have had them test. I don't. But so far I would say quite impressed. Of course, it would have been optimal if it didn't have to intervene at the end of the road,
but I mean, just if you just see it as like, okay, will this technology software, will that make your life more easy and convenient and safe? Yes. But every once in a while, if you get stuck in a construction zone that is a dead end, okay, you might have to take over and turn the car around, but that's not a big deal, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a problem. Okay, here there's a funny thing, this is Danish, and that red arrow means that we have to give way, but okay, it's just following this car, which I mean, it's not bad. I think I would have done the same, and maybe they also have a give way sign here, I don't know. And the Tesla employee just told me that the other car blinked at us, and that is a signal that it wants us to go. So the car actually did a very human-like thing and just followed the directions from the other people in traffic.
That's also another thing that if we compare to the LiDAR approach of Waymo and others.
Yeah, that wouldn't have
been possible because this system is actually intelligent. It's taking in the visual data from the cameras and analyzing it the same way as a human does.
It understands hand gestures. So if people in traffic wave you like to go along, it understands that it needs to move along because people are saying that they are not moving right now, which is pretty crazy. There's also these videos, have you seen these videos where it like waits for ducks and geese and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's holding back as well.
Yeah, super nice. So now we have a big roundabout here again. And yeah, it feels so human-like. Okay, I would say one thing that it does wrong here, I think I would do the same, but that is it continues all the way out into the middle of the bicycle lane. So if a bike would come,
there was actually a bike who turned.
Yeah, that turned, but we would have been in the way of that bike if that bike didn't turn.
That bike was turning.
No, it didn't, because it also did it before. But yeah. So that's like a minor, but that is also something a human would do, like as a mistake from time to time.
It would have been interesting to see if the bike didn't turn, if it had like been backing. Or
yeah, I don't think so. But it's just I think if people see this for the first time, they will be like, okay, what's the deal? The car is driving itself. But what we have been following this journey online, seeing people do beta testing in the States, and it's just like with the ChatGPT and Grok and all of these models. It's crazy how fast they get better. So, and what you are seeing now is the worst version you will ever see of this system, and it is, I would say, flawless. But it will never get worse than what it is today. It will just exponentially become better every single day from now on.
Yeah.
So, but it's almost like you take it for granted. Almost like you take ChatGPT for granted. Now you just go there and ask it whatever you want, and you get a response. It's just like you get used to these technologies so quickly.
Way quicker than people they think.
Yeah. And that's also one thing that people have been saying is that Tesla should be partnering up with Uber because people really like the Uber app and it's hard to make an app and stuff like that. But Tesla has made their own app and it's one of the most downloaded transportation apps on all the app stores in around the world. And I think earlier this week or maybe last week they made it public to everyone in Australia, and they're just slowly like testing the interface and like how it's working, and people are using it to take paid rides in America right now as we speak.
And another thing on that note that people they don't recognize is that as soon as they are ready for global launch and global scale, at some point they're gonna most likely integrate the Robotaxi functionality in the app within the X platform. So it's going to be a menu within X.
As the old Twitter X.
Yeah, the old Twitter X, which has around 600 something million users. Well,
okay.
Instantly, there's going to be 600.
And you can pay via X and
you can pay via the app.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
So I don't know how many Uber users there are, but I don't think there's more than 600.
No, and you also have everyone owning a Tesla. Like I think the Tesla app, you could probably also order a Robotaxi from the Tesla app, right? I mean, and I mean, so that's 6 million people, 8 million people. Next year, maybe 11 million people.
Yeah, but that's I was saying 600 with X.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. I don't have an X account.
But then, as well as the standalone app, of course.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, the car is just doing its thing. It's just there's a runner on the side here. The car sees him, but there's no problem, so we just continue. It's keeping the speed limit.
Perfect.
Perfect. It feels. I feel like I'm being driven by a very professional chauffeur.
Such a delight. Can't wait to do like proper road trips in this.
We talked about, imagine if you had like a van, a camper van, and then you decide you want to go to, we live in Denmark, let's say you want to go to Italy, so you can just go sleep in your car and you wake up in the Dolomites and you can go for a hike. It's just, it's so crazy. You can lay in the back and watch a movie, and then you can cook some dinner and go to sleep while the car is driving you to Italy or Switzerland or Austria or something like that.
It's not if, it's when.
It's so insane. Yeah. So here we can see again how much it sees. It sees the big truck over there. It sees all the different cars. It just has a really nice bird's eye view of everything. And it's a pretty big traffic like this one, but my best guess is that it will just handle it. Now it turned green on the arrow, but this car didn't move because it understands that that is not a green light for us. Which, when you think about it, is actually my car, even when I don't have any systems turns on, quite often mistake this green arrow as a light that I can go. So it makes like a ding, you can go now, because it misinterprets that it's a green light for me. But this system is worth saying that the enhanced autopilot software I have in my car is not the same software as this software. And I think sometimes people don't understand that. This is not a better autopilot. You know what I mean?
It's a whole nother technology.
It's a whole nother technology. It's a whole nother system.
Yeah.
Perfect. As soon as it turns green, it just goes. And I also feel like it's accelerating nicely here. It's like it's not slow. It's like it's actually, what is it called? Like confident.
Firm.
Yeah, it's firm. It's like it goes like a human would go. Not too fast, not too slow, but just like nice, confident acceleration.
Nice.
Five minutes until what? Okay, Joachim, we have 5 minutes left.
Okay.
What is your first impression of riding in a Tesla FSD? This could have been a Robotaxi ride. Would you have been a satisfied customer if this was a Robotaxi ride?
Except the intervention at the end of the road.
Yeah.
I guess they could have potentially, if there's been a Robotaxi, they could have, tele-operated the last intervention until they have it like completely intervention free.
But what's your first impression?
Overall, I am super impressed. I think it still boggles my mind that it's even possible.
Yeah.
And it just feels so real. It feels so. It is hard to put words on.
Because it almost feels like this is how it's always been.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't feel new.
It feels a little.
It feels like okay, now we're just in cars that can drive themselves. Okay, that shift has been made. That problem is solved.
Yeah, it sounds like a negative thing, but it's surprisingly underwhelming, you could say, because it's just so smooth.
It feels normal. It feels like this is how it has always been. I mean, I'm actually surprised. I thought that we would have more small intervention. I didn't think that we would be like close to running anybody over or like doing something very dangerous. But I thought that maybe a quick lane change, maybe hit the accelerator brake, just small things just to keep the car going. But I mean, we haven't had anything except for when we decided to test out if the car could do a U-turn. That's the only thing.
No jerkiness and stuff like that, which you are used to, with
If I had this software in my car, this software that we're using today, I'm pretty confident it could take me all the way from my work at the airport all the way to my address and park in my neighborhood, and I could just get out of the car and I would have, I would have been able to relax for those 45 minutes instead of navigating Copenhagen rush hour traffic. Yeah. I'm pretty confident that the software could do that now. And then, okay, of course, maybe once in a while something happens and I have to take over. But that is like, that's still worth it in a way.
Yeah, for sure.
I think there is 2 million Teslas in Europe right now, and the software is around $10,000. So imagine if 5% of those cars adopted FSD once it gets available to the public. That's a pretty big number. It's like $1 billion. I heard Daniel from the other video make this example. So that's like $1 billion in pure software revenue. So this is also interesting, very human-like, goes around the big truck, it notices that it's just stopped. We have some people walking here. It's very dark, you almost cannot see them, but the car has seen them. And this is a very big bump, slows down, it knows the bump. And now we are back at Tesla in Køge, and we will end the video here. Maybe we'll see if it parks. So crazy that he hasn't touched the steering wheel or the pedals once. Perfect.
Future should look like the future.